Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kristen Lucier. I'm the principal here at Martin Luther King Elementary School. I want to welcome you all to our beautiful, fairly new library. Before we continue, I just want to take a moment to introduce the honored guests that we have joining us here today. We have Governor Dan McKee. We have Commissioner Angelica Infante Green. We have Rhode Island State Board of Education Chair Michael Gray. We have Providence Public School Department Superintendent Dr. Javier Montanez. And we have PPSD District-Wide Advisory Council Chair Donna Huntley Newby. So welcome to all of you. So we are honored to have all of you here today to join us to speak about the future of Providence schools. As a Blue Ribbon school, which we were incredibly honored to have received, we're going to speak about the future of Providence Public Schools, and we want to say that we are so happy that we are continuing our work here, and especially after we were recognized for closing the achievement gap. The highlights of our collective efforts have been to provide equitable, high-quality education for all of our students here at King, and to continue with our vision of achievement and growth for all of our students. So I'm so proud of all of the hardworking students we have here, staff, and faculty who made this recognition possible. So this achievement is a reminder for the bright future that we're building together and what is possible across PPSD. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Honorable Governor Dan McKee.
Thank you, Christina. It's great to be here at MLK. I have visited here before and was able to recognize the school, the leadership here, as well as the families and the students for their achievements, and which is, I think, is very important for the statewide, but in particular the families in Providence to hear about the progress that has been being made here for MLK's school here to be the first elementary blue ribbon school in the history of the city of Providence. Is a big deal, and it's a reflection of the work that's going on here, right? So I want to acknowledge the Board Education Chair Mike Gray, who's wearing many hats and helping us in many ways, but no more important way than this, Mike, right? In terms of the work that you're doing on the board as education chair. Of course, Commissioner Infante Green, I just want to make sure that people hear from me that not only do I meet regularly and have regular calls with the commissioner, but there is significant progress that has been made in the Providence schools, and we need to make sure that we highlight that because there's more to do, but the progress that is made is exceptional, and I want to make sure I point out the leadership from the commissioner's office all the way through the schools and the parents, the parent associations, and the advisory groups that are here, and of course my good friend right here, Javier. We kind of plucked him out of a situation, put him right into the fire, and I'm telling you, when I go around and I go to every graduation, which I have done in the Providence schools or going to schools on a regular basis, there's a lot of love for Javier, and rightfully so. So thank you, Javier, for your work. So we know. Let's just go through a couple of the things that have happened in Providence schools since I've been governor. And before, we know that first of all, the COVID has, for all the country, has delayed progress, and we have to take this into consideration as we start measuring things. But let's talk about what's happened in the last just few years. I just mentioned that we have an elementary school for the first time, right? That is a Blue Star school. I expect more to come, Commissioner, in that same vein. But there's real momentum. And just a few of the wins. Let's rattle them off. Providence has improved student outcomes on the 2024 RICAS, ELA, Math, and SAT, ELA, and Math in terms of the outcomes in the schools. and it's one of the few, if perhaps the only one that actually has been able to gain progress in each one of those areas. And the district's RICAS math scores have rebounded to surpass pre-pandemic levels, and that's great news that we should be celebrating. Rhode Island's nationally recognized Attendance Matters program that everybody's jumped in from, whether it has to do with the municipal leaders that I've set compacts with, 38 out of 39 compacts to help us achieve our goals of reaching or exceeding Massachusetts levels on reading and math by 2030. This happens because there's a group effort in terms of what is happening on the ground. Attendance Matters has achieved in the city of Providence schools more than a 20% point decrease in chronic absenteeism since the height of the pandemic. And that, you've got to have young people in school if they're feeling well enough, the parents and guardians. That's really a commitment that we have to make to our children, to have them in school if they're healthy enough to be in school. More learning time positions us to achieve better student outcomes, which is a key pillar to my Learn 365 RI initiative. And under our leadership, Providence opened 4 new school buildings over the last 2 years as part of a $1 billion school construction plan. If you remember, only 1 new school had been opened over the previous 15 years in total. And there's more in the pipeline, and there's more coming out of the pipeline, in which you'll hear more about making sure that our schools are in condition to accept this type of education that we want to provide to our young people. We also launched 5 redesigned schools that will prepare students to thrive in growing sectors in the industries, including life sciences. And we have grown our career and technical education offerings by 40% during the time frame that I've been governor. And we've expanded access to high quality early learning with 2 new five-star pre-Ks. And we've made a commitment on a statewide basis to open up more seats on the pre-K, and Providence schools are benefiting from that, but they're also responding in a way that's really feeding into the progress that we have. So this is progress. Do we still have more to do? Absolutely. In fact, I'm being told by many that I rely on, and by the way, let's rely on the experts when we start talking about education, we're going to have to do a couple more bold things to reach those 2030 goals that I've set. And I think we're all prepared to do that. So as we're planning to keep Providence schools under state control indefinitely, are we planning to do that? No, absolutely not. Some people have asked us to return Providence public schools to local control immediately. That would be a disservice to the community of students, of families, and educators who have counted on us to make positive change that lasts. Just as the state needs more time to build on gains we are seeing in Providence schools, the city also needs time to prepare and plan. And I think one of the motivators for this session here at MLK is there's a new school board that's going to be in place. And we want to work with that school board because they're going to be charged, just like any other school committee in the state of Rhode Island, to have a heavy responsibility. And we're ready to have that conversation. So last summer, the Council on Elementary and Secondary Education approved a plan for the state to continue its intervention to 2027. At that time, we felt that gave us enough time to see this through responsibly. But based on the latest data we are seeing and the feedback we are getting from the community, we are comfortable accelerating that timeline. Because in our Rhode Island 2030 plan, we set the goals of setting a strong foundation to return Providence to local control. And together, that's what we've done. And as a result, the state will consider returning the school district to local control as soon as 2026, provided the city is able to prepare accordingly. In my 2023 State of State address, I said the state has intervened in 2 local school districts, one for too long and one for not long enough to get the job done. I believe that we are now in a position to begin accelerating discussions about returning Providence to local control, just as we are with Central Falls. And I look forward to working with the new Providence School Board. I see Corey's out there right now, one of our new members, and working with the school board and the city to make this happen. I've penned a letter that will go to all the school board members in anticipation of the meeting on Wednesday night, that I believe they're going to be putting some leadership in place. That's new governance that we need to make sure we're immediately responding to, and that's one of the major reasons that I'm happy to be here today to talk about the strategies that we need to go forward. But let's reinforce and celebrate the progress that has been made. And we're sitting in a school, it bears repeating, is a blue ribbon school, the first in the history of the state of Rhode Island. And there's reasons for that, and it requires leadership coming from the very top and filtering right down to the very base of the people that we need to have support from to get this work done. So I would look forward to working directly with the school board. I'll continue our conversations with municipal leaders, and certainly open to describing conditions that we think are in the best interest of the young people that we serve, because isn't that our number one objective, is working in the best interest of the young people that are attending our public schools throughout the state, and in particular today talking about the city of Providence. With that, Commissioner, come on up. Thank you so much for your leadership. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you for the introduction, Governor. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here at Providence First Blue Ribbon Elementary School. Yay. But I'm sure it will not be the last, because that's the type of work that's taken place in this district. It's about moving the district forward. But this school is an example of what is possible when we all work towards the best interests of children. I want to remind everyone that nearly 115,000 schools across the country, that's how many we have. This school was one out of 356 to be selected for the national distinction. That's a big deal. But we also noticed that it did not get the attention that the school and district deserved. So please make sure that that is part of the communication today. It is important that people understand that hard work is happening. I want to thank all the students, parents, and officials and community partners that have joined us this afternoon to speak about the future of Providence schools. There's an old and persistent narrative that PPSD is not moving forward, and it is false. We're standing in a school that allows you to understand that it is false. PPSD is a district on the move because of all of you, because of the teachers and the students doing the hard work. So not only are we going to try to preserve the progress, but build on it and make sure that it is maintained. When exactly the transition will occur depends on the preparedness and the capacity of local leaders. I want to stress that. It is based on the preparedness. It is not like turning on and off a switch. That's not how this works. While we do not believe a transition in just a few months with no clear plan or vision in the city is wise, we have worked to provide clear and consistent expectations that local leaders can work towards. If the right plan and strategy is in place, we could transition as soon as 2026. But again, it depends on what's done with local leaders. We have new leadership right now that we are very hopeful can get us there. As part of the path to local control, the framework that we are seeking to continue to work towards and ensure that the district, the students, and all the partners are committed to, which include but are not limited to the city taking leadership of developing and empowering a strong board who is an effective and productive governance partner. The board taking a vote to commit to 2 years of training and support by a student outcomes-based governance approach. Students' outcomes. That's what this is all about. By fall 2025, the board consistently spending most of their meeting time discussing and monitoring progress towards the goals in partnership with the superintendent and the superintendent's team. the city agreeing to honor the settlement agreement, irrespective of return date, between City and Providence and RIDE, including the fiscal year 2027 commitment to increase local contributions by the same percentage, the total increase of state aid. This is extremely important. We understand that we need this to continue the momentum. The momentum is real. It's factual. The city working to get all school construction projects currently in phase 2 and phase 3 back on track, and ensuring to meet the commitment that has already been made of achieving the goal of delivering new or like new schools for 100% of our students. We have all made that commitment, from the superintendent, from RIDE, as well as the city. We have to continue to move forward and keep things on track. The city to continue the commitment to performance-based outcomes for all contracts, including custodial services for PPSD schools. We know how crucial that is. We also know the condition that it was in the past. Each and every one of us know that. The mayor's office partnering with City Council, RIDE, and PPSD leadership and engaging the voices of communities like the ones that are here today to publish a transition plan that addresses critical questions. It's important to us that every stakeholder involved is thoughtful and strategic, because the last thing we want is to set up the district to return to the ways of the past. Let me be clear, returning to the status quo, it is not an option. It is not an option for our kids. It is not an option for our educators. It is not an option for our community. I think of what we're able to achieve during the intervention in spite of a once-in-a-generational public health crisis. There's work to do, more work to be done, and we expect to do that in collaboration. That's what we're here to do. But there are clear signs that PPSD has a momentum, as the governor shared. In December, we released our statewide school and district accountability results. PPSD results underscored the independent reports from SchoolWorks and Harvard that show work still remains, but there has been meaningful progress. We have to stop the old narrative. I want to thank the teachers, students, and parents that have made this possible, as well as the community leaders that continue to meet in spite of all the challenges. 7 PPSD schools increased in their star rating, helping the district to decrease the number of comprehensive support improvement schools. That is extremely important. Asa Messer Elementary School, which was spotlighted in Governor McKee's State of the State, was the only 1-star school to go up 3 stars in the entire state. It was also the only elementary school in the entire state to increase that amount. Later this week, we will host an event at Asa Messer to celebrate their accomplishments in math. Yes, accomplishments in math. Overall, PPSD has gone from 13 CSI schools to 9 currently. This means that thousands of students are now learning in higher performing schools. Beyond that, PPSD reached an agreement with the U.S. Department of Justice to exit federal monitoring of 8,000 multilingual learners that began in 2018, while PPSD was under city control. Boston, which entered a similar agreement in 2010 before PPSD, is still under monitoring. That has been a lot of work on behalf of the district, the teachers, and the students. And that is something that other districts cannot say. Again, this is evidence that we're headed in the right direction. Over the last few weeks, I've been in close contact with parents, teachers, and students about what they would like to see as we enter the next phase of the intervention. We heard it is essential that a plan with clear goals and commitments from local leaders is in place. We are committing to making that happen. Not one stakeholder wants to see our progress wiped away, and it can be. Many may recall that Hope High School was once under state intervention. They made strides, which then reversed after the state left. Let's not forget that, because that is what we are trying to not have happen. With the new school board convening for the first time later this week, we want to ensure that we continue to support them and provide opportunities for them to be successful, to have a successful governing body that is focused on improving student outcomes. That's what this is all about, nothing else. This is about having a clear process that helps local stakeholders and leaders. We have heard that the city wants it back sooner. If these conditions are met, we are open to that conversation. Again, thank you all for being here, and we want to make sure that we're moving in the right direction and we're rowing in the same direction. It's not about what we want, it is what's important for our kids. Now, I have the pleasure of introducing Chair Mike Gray, who is going to say a few words on behalf of the council that has really pushed forward and ensured that PPSD continues to make progress. Thank you.
Not sure if that clapping was for me or for her, but I'll take it. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Gray. I am the chair of the Rhode Island Education Board and the Council on Elementary and Secondary Education. The K-12 Council is committed to ensuring that Providence stays the course and is able to provide students a world-class education. Throughout the years, we have seen that despite many challenges, Providence Public Schools has progressed. We've watched new 21st century schools opening up. We've joined celebrations for national awards like here at Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary School, the Blue Ribbon Award. We've seen the positive impact of investments in high quality learning materials and professional learning for teachers. We've watched state, city, and Providence Public School leaders row together to create a stronger system. Many of our council members have had deep experience in education and know that many of these accomplishments take a great deal of effort and work. It's not an easy task to turn around a school district. While we are pleased that the needle has been moved, it is paramount that local stakeholders are ready to continue to make headway in this effort. The framework released today will guide local stakeholders to develop a solid plan and vision for continued progress. While we believe local leaders have the opportunity to oversee the school district, and they will have it again, we must ensure that continued progress will be made. When the council voted to extend the intervention, we did so because we believed certain concerns and considerations needed to be addressed. This included ensuring the district has a strong governance body that's laser focused on improving the outcomes of students, and the district's finances were supported adequately by the city. We have not seen a transition plan or vision from the city yet, but it is our hope that local leaders will review this framework and make a commitment needed to continue to move Providence Public Schools in the right direction and back to local control. I urge local leaders to take this as an opportunity to demonstrate that we are willing and ready to take on the responsibility of Providence Public Schools. The council is confident that all stakeholders can come together and make unified commitment that benefits all our students and our teachers. We are very pleased to have the opportunity to work toward this with the city, because it is important that the schools go back to local control, but it is important that it happens the right way, it happens on the right timeline, and that we have a strong collaboration between the two. That's going to be key to a successful return to local control and then continued growth for our students because they deserve it. All of us who have been in some way involved with Providence Public Schools for a long time know our students deserve it, the community deserves it, and Providence is the lifeblood that feeds the state in many, many ways, and making sure that the students here have that success, starting here in our building, starting here in this city, and they can bring it throughout the state, and successfully so. And we're very excited about the opportunity to do that. Look forward to working with the city. Thank you. Oh, that's for me. I have the great honor of turning over the podium to Dr. Montes. Thank you.
Once again, they have me going last. You know how difficult it is once you have to follow all these greatness. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to our governor, to our commissioner, and the council as well, and members of the community. I'd like to start by saying that our teachers, our school leaders, our ride partners, our family, and our students are working hard to excel every day. Our staff is working collaboratively to provide students with a world-class education that they deserve. There's clear signs that our efforts is yielding positive results for PPSD. We stand here at Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary School as a 2024 Blue Ribbon School. Let's give them a huge round of applause. Being recognized as a Blue Ribbon School is considered extremely difficult. It is highly competitive and a prestigious award given by the U.S. Department of Education. Essentially, it signifies that this school is among the top performing schools in the nation. Not in Providence, not in Rhode Island, in the nation. I would like to take this minute to repeat this. Let it sit in. Let it sit for you for a minute. Providence Public Schools is among the top performing schools in the nation. MLK. For all those naysayers, listen again. Providence Public Elementary Schools is the first one to be considered a top school in the nation. And once again, because I can't get enough of it, I'm going to give them a big round of applause. Thank you. They are truly a shining star. So we're going to turn this a little bit and we're going to discuss a little bit about the district survey that we did for families. We surveyed the families to get their feedback on their perception of the Providence Public Schools. What we heard, it aligns with the school works and the Harvard report. The family survey indicated that families feel more connected to our schools and to our children's school and our children. 77% of the families say they know how their child's performing academically. 68% of the families say their child received the required supports that they need. 70% of the families say that school shares academic strategies that they can use at home with their child. While we celebrate these accomplishments, let's keep our eye on the future because we know that there is a lot more work ahead of us to do. We take this feedback seriously and we're working to address all the remaining issues. We have some great schools, but we also have some schools of need improvement. As a district, we need to do more to amplify students' voice. As a district, we need to do more to support students facing challenges such as English as a second language or learning disabilities. As a district, we need to support students for more extended days, high dosage tutoring opportunities. As a district, we need to do more for our families, making sure they are part of the solution and working with the schools to make sure students are successful. I encourage you to look around and celebrate the accomplishments that we have done in Providence. This one is hard because I look back at my life and I reflect. Look at me. I am a product of this system. I was a student faced with learning disabilities, homelessness, violence, poverty. Yet, I stand before you. Tell me the power of education and the power of this system. Some of our staffs, like me, walk these very same hallways as students and return every day as an adult just to make sure that our students have the opportunity to be successful and give back to our community. Collectively, we need to work together to make Providence the destination of education. You're not going to get tired of me saying that. I've been saying that from day one when I became superintendent, and I'm going to continue to say it because I believe in it. I believe in our community. I believe in our school, and I believe in our faculty, staff, everyone that takes part in teaching our children. This is where it's happening. We need to focus on the education of students and outcomes. Students and outcomes. Laser focus on this. The framework that has been released today will help us put together a strong transition plan This will make sure that our schools can continue to thrive. I believe that we can do this, but we need the support of the state and the city, the governor, the commissioner, the mayor, and myself. We need to work together to make sure that we give our students every opportunity to be successful and give back to our Providence. With that, I want to say thank you for coming. Thank you everyone for showing up. And once again, MLK, we will be soon. It's the first, but I'm hoping it won't be the last. Thank you.
Folks, we're gonna take a few questions. I apologize because we're in a tight corner, so we're gonna move folks over here. So some of the folks can exit from there. It's very tight, so
Governor,
don't worry.
first question for you. Right there in the podium. I don't want to move in the podium. Governor, now that we know they make.
I just want to make sure your microphone's there. No, that's all.
Now that we have a mayor in the city of Providence that was, she's supposed to be paying you. How much money is the city of Providence put into the school department at this moment? Are they paying what the court say?
Yes, they are. And
All the money?
And that they negotiated, in the last few months. So we have certainly a commitment that the funds in 24 and school year that we're in right now, as well as the school year that's coming. So we have a commitment from them, and we have received funding from them
And the
as well.
last one, are we going to be guaranteed he's going to have a job when the Providence school take over? Because you know how the mayor is. The mayor's a traitor. He can stab you in the back. You and everybody else.
I think I was very clear about how, the love that this community has for Javier, and I think I played a little role in him being in that spot.
Governor, where is Mayor Brett Smiley right now, and why is he not participating in this press conference?
Yeah, because I think what we needed to get out in front of this issue in terms, especially that the school board is going to be in place, and we needed to kind of lay out the storyline that you heard today that shows a great deal of success in the Providence schools, and we got to make sure that, and also we're obviously I pushed back against the idea of having a quick 2025 start to the governance going back to the city. And when the mayor asked me that in my office, I said, well, I can't support that, and if it comes to my desk, I wouldn't approve it. So we're laying out today that we're open to a discussion to really get down to the determinants that are going to really lay the groundwork for continued success. And that's why we're here today, to kind of tell the story of the perspective of the core group that has been in charge of this school for the last couple of years, and the progress that has been made.
But why not share that framework with the mayor in advance? You're talking a lot about collaborating with the city, but there's a noticeable absence of collaboration here today.
No, I think that we were very, very specific about that question, because I knew that was going to come up. That we have said that we're going to open up conversations with the new school board, with the municipal leaders. That's in my letter that the school board members will receive before they start their deliberations on Wednesday evening. So yeah, I understand that, and clearly it's spelled out in our communications that we expect that to happen.
Governor, you have a list here of 9 conditions. Will you refuse to give the schools back in 2026 if all 9 are not met? Or is this up for negotiation?
Well, I think that everything's up for negotiation, but we got to be very strong in terms of our commitment. As the commissioner said, we don't need another Hope High School repeat, all right? And so we're going to be, and I've been publicly saying, I'm going to follow the lead of the commissioner along with the council and advice that I get. And then certainly I have a background on this area in terms of school improvement. I expect that my voice will be heard as well, but we got to make sure that the conditions that are set forth, and there's an agreement from the municipal leaders, along with the school board, along with my office, that we have confidence that this progress that you just heard about is going to continue.
This is sort of your opening offer to city leaders?
No, I don't consider that at all. I think everything that's put in there is something that we need to agree that this is in the best interest of the students that live in, that attend school in Providence.
Beyond school construction, can you point to specifics that were a direct result of the state's intervention in improving the school system, as opposed to just general concepts like you have elaborated on here?
Well,
Very
so,
specific.
you know, I'm going to hand it over here to the commission shortly but I want to answer that question directly. I've been in this school, I've been in every single school in the city of Providence within the first 6 months of being governor, and I saw the condition of the schools that had been on the path to improvement, yes, but not enough improvement, and I certainly was pointing out things in this school that need to be taken care of. And that is we've made significant progress. The Hopkins report is no longer a current report, and we got to make sure that the general public knows that. In terms of other issues, I'll let the commissioner weigh in on something, but we just outlined significant progress on the RICAS scores, both on the math as well as the reading, and also the SAT. We also, we also have admitted that we got more progress to go. My goal in the state of Rhode Island is to make sure that we're meeting or exceeding Massachusetts levels by 2030, and we're open to many bold ideas. But guess what? You can't get there unless you continue the progress that we're having in Providence, and so that's a top priority for me as governor of this state.
Well, Governor, that wasn't the question. The question is, what was the, if you will, the efforts directly from the state in this intervention?
All right, I'm gonna switch. It looks like there's a Philadelphia Eagle fan here, but I'm gonna switch over here and let you outline the specifics.
Let's not make any assumptions here.
I'd be happy to do it, but I want the person and the crew that represents the people who've done the work to answer your question directly.
Thank you.
Well, Pat, I'm really disappointed in your question because we have been talking about this for a very long time. So I can rattle off 100 things, and I'll do a couple. No, I will. So you've heard the Harvard report about how the district has made more progress than other districts like size and makeup in New England. We have talked about curriculum. We have talked about having food pantries in our school because that's important for our kids to learn. Having consistent meetings with our DWEC and our PAC. Really making sure that there's professional development throughout the school year, extending the school year, having sessions during the breaks for students, really having boot camps, working with community leaders. What else? I mean, there's so many numbers of things aside from the Blue Ribbon School. That doesn't just happen. We also had 150 kids hired by Electric Boat. We've increased the number of CTE programs. Our schools, we have 5 redesigned schools that are on the move, that are taking courses at Brown, that are taking courses at Rick. So that's just a few of them. But I will tell you, the professional development is unbelievable. The work that the teachers are doing in the class, unbelievable. We no longer have classrooms that are raining inside of them. There is a long history of hope. Before we even did the statewide coming in to fix the buildings, we fixed the auditorium. We fixed the library. We worked with Brown University. I mean, there's so many things that I can go through every single one of them. We've opened more pre-K seats. We have more dual language seats. We tripled the number of dual language seats. So many certified teachers. We have all the teachers trained in MLL, which is what got us out of the corrective action agreement. Not just our MLL teachers, but all the teachers. I mean, there's so many things, but we can send you the report because we put out the information every single year so that everybody has it. This district is a district that has been moving, will continue to move, still has work to do, but all those things happen under the state intervention. And I will remind everyone, we were one of the few urban districts that were able to open in a pandemic, okay? That is a fact.
Commissioner,
You have a list of things that the city needs to do before this transition. What does the state, what does RIDE need to accomplish still before you can hand things back over?
Well, we're going to keep in the trajectory. We have a couple of things that we're working towards, that we're working with the district. Right now, that's the work that we're doing. We want to have a district that is really strong, and there are things that we have started that we're going to continue to move forward. Our document is the TAP. So if you haven't looked at the TAP, it was created by the community, for the district, and for everybody involved. And part of our work is to work with this new board so that there is a smooth handoff, so that a lot of the things that have been put in place. When we came in, I want to remind everyone, HR had Post-it notes timesheets had to be brought into the district handled. That is not the case. That is not what we have now. We don't want to revert back to the status quo. We don't want to revert to where we were when we first started. All those things have to be very strong and solidified, and we have to continue to build on that. So all the things that have been put in place, guided by the TAP, I have to say, we meet with the PAC, we meet with the DWAC. That is commitment from the community. Parents are always welcome. These are groups for parents to be a part of that have been working since the beginning of the intervention, and we have continued that commitment. The superintendent has a group of students that he works with. That is a fact. Those are things that are important as we move forward. He also has a group of teachers that he works with. Those things are part of the structure that need to continue.
But is there a
You mentioned-
specific metric, a specific goal that RIDE still wants to achieve before handing the schools back?
Well, I think that what it is to continue to move forward on all those TAP metrics. We measure ourselves every year. It is out there, it is public, and we continue to build the foundation. Let's be clear. This has been over 30 years of neglect, and we are trying to right-size that in a very expedient manner. But all the things in the TAP has to have a strong foundation before we move back. There's some places that we have surpassed the goals, other places that we're at the starting point, and other places that we're midstream. We have to get everything close to at least midstream. Yes.
Commissioner, can you just name a TAP goal that's been met, not just that you've made progress, but a TAP goal that has been met?
Sure, working with the community. I think that is a TAP goal that has been met, getting the
I meant the
feedback.
metrics, the numbers. You have hard numbers. You want graduation rates to be this, test scores to be this, absenteeism to be this. Have any of those numbers been hit?
Absolutely, absolutely. We wanted to,
Chronic absenteeism.
yeah, chronic
No,
absenteeism.
the TAP goal is to get down to 10%, and you're at 36, right?
Well, the whole nation
I didn't ask if
is
you're on
done.
track. I understand that it's better, but I was
Well,
wondering
listen.
if one had been hit.
Well, some of them have been hit. The one where we get feedback from parents, that has been hit. There have been other ones. We have also right-sized some of these things because there are global problems. I will say that Providence has surpassed in the chronic absenteeism. Providence has surpassed in many other goals. I don't have it all in front of me. We'll get you all of that if you want.
Commissioner, you said that you would be open to the conversation of returning back to local control sooner than 2026 if they had met all of these conditions.
I didn't say sooner than 2026. I said
Well, what would
after
that be?
20. It could be in 2026. Sooner meaning prior to 2026. I
Or
think
after, because if they don't do anything for you guys, don't give it back to Providence.
we are
You have
right
to make
now.
sure everything is right.
We are going to make sure. So our initial goal was 2027. We can go to 2026 because there's a desire for that to happen sooner if the criteria that we have laid out have been met.
All right,
What
thank
is
you.
the
Commissioner.
status of
We'll
Central
hold
Falls?
off to the side.
What is the status of Central Falls?
What do you mean the status of Central Falls?
In terms of being returned back to the Central Falls?
Well, I just want to remind everybody because I think there's confusion with Central Falls and Providence. They're totally different. Central Falls, it has been a financial intervention, and I think the governor has been pretty clear that the city has a governance body, has a school board that governs the school. We do not govern the schools. What we support Central Falls is financially. And what needs to happen is that some of that, there needs to be an off-ramp.
And
All right,
what?
thank you all. We'll be off to the side. Thank you.